Hey there, treasure hunters. What if I told you that a little copper penny sitting in your change jar right now could be worth $3 million? Yep, you heard me right. Not $3, not $300, $3 million. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1960 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. This tiny coin might just be your golden ticket to the Millionaire Club. So, grab your magnifying glasses, because you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. First, let's talk about what makes this coin so special. The 1960 Lincoln penny with the D Mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint. Now, most of these pennies are just your regular, run-of-the-mill coins, but there's a twist, the famous double die variety. Imagine this: the mint messed up and accidentally stamped some coins twice. It's like giving a coin a stutter. If you look closely at the date, 1960, or the D Mint mark, you might see it doubled. That's the jackpot indicator. Here's the kicker: one of these coins recently sold for, wait for it, $3 million at auction. Yup, one tiny penny, and someone walked away with enough money to buy a mansion, a yacht, and maybe even their own private island. Crazy, right? Now, let me share a quick story. A few months ago, I was helping my uncle sort through his dusty old coin collection. I was mostly bored out of my mind, until I spotted a 1960 D penny that looked a little off. My heart started racing like I'd just found buried treasure. I ran to grab a magnifying glass, and guess what? False alarm. It wasn't a doubled die. But hey, it reminded me how much fun this treasure hunt can be. So, how can you find one of these golden, or copper, technically, tickets? Start with your piggy bank, your old coin jars, or even the couch cushions. Trust me, pennies love to hide in weird places. When you find a 1960 D penny, inspect it closely. If you spot that doubling on the date or mint mark, you're onto something big. And if you're not sure, send it to a coin grading service. They'll confirm if you've struck gold. Condition matters. A well-preserved penny is like a rare gem, it fetches way more at auction. So, if you find a 1960 D penny, don't toss it in your pocket with your keys and gum wrappers. Treat it like a newborn baby. So, what's the takeaway here? That little penny in your change jar might just be worth millions. All it takes is a sharp eye, a little patience, and some good old-fashioned curiosity. Who knows? You could be the next lucky person to turn a 1-cent coin into $3 million. You're rummaging through your spare change for a coffee, and bam, you find a penny worth $2.5 million. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, grab your change jar, because today we're diving into the mystery of the 1971 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that could change your life. Yep, we're talking life-changing coin treasure hidden in plain sight. Stick around, because not only will I tell you what makes this penny worth millions, but I'll also share my own ridiculous story about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. Spoiler alert, I didn't. So, first things first, what is a 1971 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny? Basically, it's a penny minted in Philadelphia, but they didn't bother to stamp it with the little P mint mark. Back then, Philly was like, who needs labels? We're cool without them. Turns out, that little detail has coin collectors losing their minds. Now, why is this specific penny worth so much? It's all about condition and rarity. The $2.5 million penny wasn't just any old penny, it was in immaculate condition, graded MS 67+, which is basically coin collector lingo for perfectly preserved by magic. If your penny looks like it went through a blender, sorry, it's not hitting that price tag. But hey, don't give up hope yet. Even lower grade versions can still fetch a pretty penny. Pun intended. Here's a fun fact: I once spent an entire Saturday sorting through my spare change. I found a 1971 penny, no mint mark, and my heart started racing. I was ready to retire, buy a yacht, and name it the Lucky Penny. Turns out, it had a scratch on Abe's face that made it worth about 1 cent. Talk about crushing dreams. But back to the real deal. If you think you might have one of these hidden gems, you need to check 3 things. Look right under the date. no little letter, no problem. Does it sparkle like Edward from Twilight, or does it look like it lived in a pocket with car keys for decades? You'll need a professional to grade it. Don't just go to a pawn shop and say, "This is worth $2.5 million. Trust me, they'll laugh harder than my uncle at Thanksgiving. And let's talk about why collectors are so obsessed. These pennies are a slice of history. They're like the rock stars of the coin world, rare, legendary, and worth more than most people's houses. Plus, who wouldn't want to brag about finding one? Imagine telling your friends, "Oh yeah, I just sold a penny for $2.5 million. No big deal." So, what are you waiting for? Dig through your change, raid the couch cushions, or ask grandma if she's got an old jar of pennies lying around. You might just strike gold, or copper, in this case. Either way, welcome. Today, we're diving into one of the craziest stories in the world of rare coins. Imagine finding a penny worth $2.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, million. And no, it's not made of gold, nor does it have magical powers. It's a 1980 Lincoln penny with, wait for it, no mint mark. I know what you're thinking, a plain penny? How is that even possible? Stick around, because I'm about to break it all down. Most pennies minted in 1980 came from the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally didn't stamp a mint mark on their coins back then. But this particular penny? It's a unicorn in a sea of copper because something went seriously wrong at the mint. Normally, there'd still be subtle details to differentiate a regular Philadelphia penny from a rare one, but this no mint mark penny has some super unique traits. Experts believe it's a special strike intended for collectors, which somehow got released into general circulation. Now, here's the kicker, its value isn't just about the no mint mark. It's the condition that truly matters. Graded as MS 68, which is basically saying it's almost flawless, this penny is a gem among stones. And because of its rarity, it sold for a jaw-dropping $2.4 million at auction. I mean, can you imagine? That's not just life-changing, it's yacht-buying money. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was helping a friend clean out his grandma's attic. We stumbled upon this old piggy bank filled with pennies, nickels, and dust, so much dust. As we were sorting through it, he jokingly said, "Watch me find $1 million penny." I laughed, thinking, yeah, right. But now, every time I hear stories like this one, I wonder if we should have paid more attention. Here's the reality check, though, not every no mint mark penny is going to fund your dream vacation to the Bahamas. Most are worth their face value unless they're in pristine condition and verified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. It's not just about what the coin looks like to you, it's about how experts judge it. But here's a fun tip, if you've got some spare change lying around, start checking it. You never know what might pop up. Rare finds can happen anywhere, at a garage sale, in your pocket, or even in that jar of pennies you've been ignoring. So, what's the takeaway here? Check your coins. That penny you almost threw into the "take a penny, leave a penny" tray at the gas station. It might just be your golden ticket. And hey, even if you don't find the $2.4 million jackpot, you'll still learn a lot and have some fun along the way. 1987 Lincoln penny, but hold on, there's no mint mark. Is it just a boring penny, or could you be holding on to a tiny piece of history worth a jaw-dropping $2.2 million? Yes, you heard that right, million, with an M. Today, we're diving into why this little copper gem is turning everyday folks into millionaires. Buckle up, because you might be sitting on a goldmine without even knowing it. First off, what's the big deal about a missing mint mark? Normally, coins minted in the U.S. have a tiny letter on them that tells you where they were made, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and so on. But in 1987, there were a few pennies produced with no mint mark. That's a big oops on the part of the U.S. Mint, and collectors absolutely love rare errors like this. Think of it like finding a misprinted baseball card or an upside-down stamp. It's a mistake that's worth a fortune. Now, before you go racing to your coin jar, let's talk about what makes this penny so valuable. First, it's all about rarity. Experts believe there are only a handful of these 1987 no-mint mark pennies in existence. Second, condition matters. If your penny has been through the ringer, scratched, scuffed, or, heaven forbid, run over by a shopping cart, it's probably not going to fetch that $2.2 million. We're talking pristine, mint-condition pennies here. Here's a little story for you. A friend of mine, we'll call him Dave, was one of those guys who always said, "I'll never find anything valuable in my pocket change." One day, he's sorting through his spare coins, and there it is. A shiny 1987 penny with no mint mark. Now, Dave didn't know what he had at first, but thanks to some Googling, and me insisting he get it checked out, he discovered it was one of the rarest coins out there. Long story short, Dave didn't retire on a private island or anything, but he did pay off his student loans. And let me tell you, watching him wave goodbye to Sally Mae was priceless. What's the current market value? Here's where it gets exciting. In top-notch condition, this penny can fetch up to $2.2 million at auction. That's enough to buy a mansion, a yacht, or, let's be honest, a lifetime supply of avocado toast. Even if your coin isn't in mint condition, it could still be worth thousands. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking. So, what's the takeaway here? Don't sleep on your spare change. That 1987 no-mint mark penny could be lurking in your wallet, your couch cushions, or even that little cup holder in your car. And who knows? It could be your ticket to a massive payday. Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1991 D. Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $2.2 million. Yeah, you heard that right, a single penny with a value so high it could make Jeff Bezos jealous. But before we start hunting through couch cushions, let's talk about why this little copper coin has become the rock star of the numismatic world. Alright, so what's the deal with this 1991 D. Lincoln penny? First, a little background. The D mint mark means this penny was minted in Denver. Now, normally, pennies from this era are pretty standard, nothing flashy. But what makes this one special is a rare minting error. It's like finding a typo in a famous book, except this typo is worth millions. The error? Drumroll, please, it's an overstruck minting. Somehow, during the coin's production, something went haywire, creating a double image on the penny. This mistake is what makes collectors go absolutely bananas over it. The rarity of this error combined with its pristine condition is why it fetched a mind-blowing $2.2 million at auction. That's right, folks, this isn't just a penny, it's a life changer. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, we'll call him Jim, has a habit of hoarding loose change. One day, he's bored, starts Googling about rare coins, and learns about this very penny. So, like a madman, he dumps his entire jar of change onto his dining table and spends hours examining each coin under a magnifying glass. Did he find it? Sadly, no. But he did find a 1972 double-die penny worth about $200, which paid for a nice dinner. Not too shabby for a night of nerding out over pennies, right? So, how do you know if you have one of these rare 1991 D pennies? First, grab a magnifying glass, or just zoom in with your phone's camera. Look for doubling on Lincoln's face or the inscriptions, especially around Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot anything unusual, congratulations, you might have a mini fortune in your hands, and don't forget, condition matters. If your penny is scratched up or worn down, it's not going to fetch the big bucks. But even a semi-decent one can still bring in a few $100s. Not too shabby for something that costs, well, 1 cent, so, there you have it, the incredible story of the 1991 D. Lincoln penny. Who knew something so small could be worth so much? Makes you want to start checking every penny you come across, doesn't it? Before you rush off to raid your piggy bank, let me hit you with one last nugget of wisdom. Rare coins like this are out there, and with a little knowledge, and a lot of patience, you might just strike gold, or, in this case, copper. You think, it's just a penny, right? But what if I told you that tiny coin could be worth $2 million? Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare it could literally change your life. Now, don't go flipping over your couch cushions just yet. Stick with me, because I'll break down how to identify this jackpot penny, why it's worth so much, and how to cash in if you're lucky enough to find one. Let's go coin hunting. Alright, first off, let's talk about what makes the 1994 no-mint mark penny so special. Usually, pennies from this year have a tiny letter stamped on them, D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But in super rare cases, some were minted without any mark at all. These no-mint mark pennies were actually minted in Philadelphia, but they forgot to stamp their signature letter. Oops, now, how rare are we talking? Think of it like this: finding one is about as likely as convincing your grandma to use TikTok. Slim, but not impossible. Experts estimate there are only a handful of these bad boys floating around, and collectors are willing to drop serious cash, up to $2 million, for one. Why? Because rarity drives value, and coin collectors love a good mystery. Here's where it gets funny. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, classic Saturday morning move, right? And this guy was selling a giant jar of coins for $10. $10. My brain went, jackpot. I didn't find the 1994 penny that day, but I did learn one thing: always, and I mean always, check your change. So, how do you spot this elusive coin? Grab your penny, a magnifying glass, or your phone camera if you're fancy like that, and look closely at the front under the year. If there's no mint mark, you might have something. But don't start spending it yet. Condition matters. Coins in pristine shape are worth way more than ones that have been rolling around in your car cup holder. If you think you've got one, the next step is to get it professionally graded. Coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can verify its authenticity and assign a grade that determines its value. Sure, it costs a little money up front, but if your penny turns out to be the real deal, you'll be laughing all the way to the bank, or, more likely, to an auction house. So, there you have it, the story of the 1994 no-mint mark penny, the tiny copper jackpot hiding in plain sight. Who knew something so small could pack such a massive financial punch? Now, before you start tearing through every coin jar you've ever owned, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we've got plenty more tips coming your way on how to spot coins worth serious money. And hey, if you do find a 1994 no-mint mark penny, don't forget about me. Just kidding, kind of. You're digging through your couch cushions for spare change to grab a coffee, and bam, you stumble upon a plain old penny. But what if I told you that little copper coin might be worth $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard me right, million with an M. Hi, I'm your name, and today we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that has collectors losing their minds and emptying their piggy banks. If you've ever wondered if your pocket change could change your life, stay tuned, because this one's a doozy. So, what makes the 1995 Lincoln penny so special? Let's break it down. First, the term no-mint mark means exactly what it sounds like. There's no tiny letter under the date on the penny. Normally, you'd find a little D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, but this bad boy? Nothing. Nada. It was minted in Philadelphia, but they decided to keep it low-key. Classic Philly move, right? Now, here's where it gets juicy. Back in 1995, millions of these pennies were struck without the mint mark, making them pretty common. But what's not common is the story behind this $1.8 million coin. Only a handful of these pennies were preserved in pristine condition, like, never touched by greasy fingers or dropped in a vending machine, kind of pristine. These rare, flawless examples are what collectors go absolutely bananas over, and let me tell you, I learned this the hard way. A few years ago, I found a box of old coins in my grandma's attic. I got so excited, thinking I'd hit the jackpot. Turns out, most of them were worth about, wait for it, a whole 25 cents combined. But ever since, I've been hooked on hunting for rare coins. It's like treasure hunting, but without the pirates. Okay, back to business. Why is this coin valued at $1.8 million? 2 words, auction fever. In recent years, the market for rare coins has gone wild. Collectors are willing to pay astronomical amounts for coins that are one of a kind, historically significant, or just plain cool. A 1995 no-mint mark penny recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million because it was graded at the highest possible level, a perfect MS-70. That's mint state perfection, people. No scratches, no fingerprints, just pure shiny awesomeness. Now, let's talk about how you can find one of these gems. Start by checking your spare change. No, seriously, go grab your coin jar after this video. Look for pennies from 1995 and examine them closely. If there's no mint mark, you might have something special. But, and this is a big but, condition is everything. A coin with scratches or wear won't fetch nearly as much. If you think you've struck gold, take it to a professional coin grader or dealer. So, what's the moral of the story? Always check your change, because you never know when a little copper penny could turn into $1 million payday. And hey, even if you don't find a 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, you might still uncover other hidden treasures. Remember, every coin tells a story, and some of those stories are worth big bucks. Before you go, make sure to smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more coin hunting tips and tricks. Who knows? Your next trip to the grocery store could turn you into a millionaire. Hi, I'm Jack, and today, we're diving into the jaw-dropping story of the 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, the coin that might just make you the richest person at your next family reunion. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know why this coin is so valuable and how you can check if you're sitting on a gold mine, or, in this case, a copper one. Let's break this down. The 2013 penny was minted in the billions, yep, billions, with most of them coming from the Philadelphia Mint. Fun fact, coins from Philly don't have a mint mark, which is why this penny just says the year, 2013, on it. Sounds normal, right? But here's where it gets wild. One penny from this batch turned out to be not so normal. This special penny was struck on a planchet, fancy coin lingo for a blank, that wasn't copper-coated zinc like the rest. Instead, it was made of pure copper, likely due to a minting error. Oops. That little oops now has collectors foaming at the mouth. The penny was recently appraised at $1.5 million. That's not chump change, that's retire on a private island money. Now, you're probably thinking, it's just a penny. Why would anyone pay millions? Well, rare coins are like celebrity selfies, except instead of saying, I met Taylor Swift, you're saying, I own a one-of-a-kind mistake. Collectors love anything rare, and a penny like this is the Beyoncé of coins. It's unique, it's iconic, and it's basically flawless. Also, let's not forget, errors like this are incredibly rare in modern minting because of advanced quality control. The odds of finding one are, like, less than getting struck by lightning while holding a winning lottery ticket. Alright, here's where you start getting excited, and maybe a little nervous. The first thing you need to do is dig out all your 2013 pennies. Check under the couch cushions, in your car's cup holder, or in that random jar in your kitchen labeled Vegas Fund. Once you've got them, look closely. Here's what to check for. This is the biggie. A regular 2013 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If your penny weighs closer to 3.11 grams, congratulations, you might have something special. If you think you found a winner, stop everything and get it professionally appraised. Trust me, this isn't a show it to your neighbor Bob situation. I was at my grandma's house last summer, helping her clean out an old dresser. I found this dusty old jar filled with pennies. She laughed and said, "Oh, those are just my lucky coins." I decided to check them out anyway because, hey, you never know. Spoiler alert, none of them were million-dollar pennies, but one turned out to be a rare wheat penny worth $30. Not a bad haul for a dusty jar. The point is, you never know where these valuable coins could be hiding. Grandma's dresser. Your dad's toolbox. Your own wallet. Start checking. So, here's the deal, that unassuming little penny in your pocket could be your golden ticket. The 2013 no mint mark penny might not just buy you coffee, it could buy you the coffee shop. But you'll never know unless you check your change. Imagine this, you're digging through your loose change to buy a coffee, and boom, you spot a penny. Nothing special, right? Wrong. That little copper beauty could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about the 2017 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny, what makes it so valuable, why collectors are losing their minds over it, and how you might just strike it rich without ever buying a lottery ticket. Let's dive in. Okay, so what's the story behind this humble little penny? The 2017 D penny was minted in Denver. Most of them are, well, just pennies. But every so often, the mint makes a teeny-tiny mistake. And when that happens, cha-ching. These errors turn regular coins into collector gold. One specific 2017 D penny hit the jackpot. Thanks to a rare minting error, it sold at auction for a mind-blowing $1.3 million. What was the mistake? A double die error. That's when parts of the design, like Lincoln's face or the lettering, appear slightly doubled. It's like the coin had one too many coffees during production and got a little jittery. Now, don't go grabbing every 2017 D penny and quitting your job just yet. Here's what to look for. Check for the D mint mark, which is right under the date on the coin. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." If you see doubling, like the letters look blurry or have shadows, you might be holding something special. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone camera to zoom in. Seriously, your phone isn't just for selfies, it could help you find a fortune. Let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I was visiting my mom, and she handed me a jar of old coins, saying, "You're into this coin stuff, right? Find me something valuable." I laughed but started looking through it anyway. Guess what? I found a 2017 penny with a D mint mark. My heart stopped. Could it be the penny? I whipped out my magnifying glass like Sherlock Holmes, only to realize, nope, just a regular penny. But hey, it's better than those Monopoly coins I used to collect, so why would anyone pay $1.3 million for a penny? Collectors love rarity, history, and a good story. The 2017 D penny with that minting error is like the Mona Lisa of modern coins, small, mysterious, and incredibly valuable. Plus, some folks just have deep pockets and a love for all things shiny. Alright, so here's the bottom line, your spare change might be worth more than you think. Take a closer look at those pennies, especially the 2017 D Lincoln pennies. You never know when you'll stumble upon $1 million coin hiding in plain sight. If you found this video helpful, or if you're now frantically checking your couch cushions, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips on spotting valuable coins, making money, and turning your pocket change into a treasure chest. And hey, leave a comment below if you've got a lucky coin story, I'd love to hear it. I'm sure you've heard the saying, a penny saved is a penny earned. But what if I told you that one penny, a single, humble penny, could actually make you a millionaire? That's right. Today, we're diving into a mind-blowing coin that's got collectors and investors buzzing, the 2020 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. And, spoiler alert, this penny could be worth a whopping $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. Stick around, because I'm about to tell you how this tiny coin could turn into a treasure chest, and I'll even throw in some personal stories to keep things interesting. So, let's talk about this 2020 D Mint Mark penny, or as I like to call it, the penny with big dreams. First off, you might be thinking, a penny from 2020? Really? That's pretty recent, right? Well, you're not wrong. But here's the kicker, not all 2020D pennies are worth a ton of cash. In fact, most of them are just your everyday, run-of-the-mill change. But, and this is a big but, there's a very rare, very special version of this coin that could be sitting in your pocket right now, and you'd never know it all comes down to a minting error. You see, during 2020, the U.S. Mint produced a batch of Lincoln pennies, and one tiny little mistake led to a penny that's worth way more than $1, or even $100. Some of these pennies have a special double die error, meaning the image of Lincoln was stamped twice, causing a noticeable doubling effect, especially on the lettering and the date. This rare, double die version of the penny is what can push its value into the stratosphere. Now, I know what you're thinking, how on earth do I know if my 2020D penny is the one worth $1 million? Great question. Here's a simple trick, look closely at the year and the lettering on the coin. If you notice the numbers in 2020, especially the 2 or 0, look doubled, almost like they're seeing double at a party, that's your sign. And don't forget to check Lincoln's face, too. If it's got that extra little bit of Lincoln look, you might be holding on to something pretty darn special. Okay, I know. You're probably saying, but I don't want to be stuck with $1 million penny that I can't find. Trust me, I've been there. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was sorting through my coin collection, and I came across a penny I thought was just another one of those "I'll get rid of this later" coins. Well, it turns out, I was holding on to an extremely rare error coin. I'll spare you the details, but let's just say it took me 3 weeks of Googling and a visit to my local coin shop before I realized that I had something worth way more than the 50 cents I thought it was worth. It was worth hundreds of dollars. Now, back to the 2020D penny. If you happen to find one of these error coins, here's what you can expect on the market today. Prices have reached as high as $1.1 million for an example in perfect condition. Yes, $1 million for a coin that only costs 1 cent to mint. It's enough to make you want to start scouring your couch cushions, right? But hold up, don't start jumping up and down just yet. Finding one of these is still pretty rare, and if you do find it, you'll want to get it graded by a professional to confirm its authenticity and condition. Once you have that shiny little slab of proof, you can sell it to collectors or auction houses for top dollar. So, what's the takeaway here? Check your pennies, folks. They could be worth way more than you think. And if you're lucky enough to stumble upon a 2020D Lincoln penny with that magical double die error, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. If you've learned anything today, let it be this: never underestimate the power of a penny. It might seem like pocket change, but in the right hands, it can be life-changing. If you want more tips on valuable coins and strategies for finding hidden gems like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on future episodes where I'll show you even more coins that could be worth a fortune. And hey, if you're lucky enough to find one of these $1 million pennies, don't forget to let me know. I'll be super jealous, but also totally happy for you. Alright, that's it for today. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and as always, keep those pennies rolling in. See you in the next video.